My friend's a jeweler, and I was just like, I don't want to get like just another basic. I mean, no disrespect to anyone, right? But I just didn't want to get like another basic ass ring. So we were looking for like vintage rings,
And I love vintage.
and we kept we looked at dozens of rings. We bought a couple like really awesome looking vintage rings with filigree.
Mm-hmm.
She gets the rings and they're too small,
Yeah.
and so she's like, I'm sorry, I didn't pay attention, I'm gonna eat it, somebody else will buy these, we gotta look. And this is like 2 months,
He's talking about his
3 months
friend.
after we'd already been looking. So then for like another month and a half, 2 months, we're looking for rings. And then she found this one, which at first I was like, I don't know, I kind of like it, but what do you think? And she's like, I love it, I think it's an awesome ring. And so then we had to get it sized, we had to inlay the stone.
Gorgeous FC. And in the beginning, I was like, oh my gosh, is this just an old friend spouting love poems? Because he can talk and he can charm. And I was like, oh my gosh, he's so good. But then I was like, wait, what's different here is I feel the exact same way. He's saying what I'm feeling and thinking. And we were on the same page so much. It was so easy. It clicked. It was actually scary how much we would, right, baby? And I was staying at my family's place in Jacksonville. And then we were apart for the first month we were dating, and we were sitting down. I was like, listen, I want to be a wife. I want to be a mother. I'm dating for seriousness. And he's like, okay. And I was like, okay, with this, I'm very ambitious. You know this, I'm conservative, this. And he's like, yes. And he's got his what are our non-negotiables? Obviously, we're like loyalty to each other, putting God first. Oh, and one of the tests, I was like, I want him to pray with me. God, if this is real, have him pray with me. Because I was still testing the spirit. Y'all, I'm talking to my ladies for a second. Guys, close your ears. Ladies, we are really strict, right? We really want what we want. We have 50,000 requirements. And I'm not saying we should lower our standards, but sometimes when we see what God has given us, like if it comes really fast, it's scary, right, ladies? Sometimes it's scary. I was a little scared to open my heart again. And what happens, right? Is it heartbreak? Okay, guys, you can listen now. But when I said I want him to pray, it's like, okay, God, if this is real, have him pray with me. And then on your end,
I showed up in Jacksonville. It was like a month after we started dating, and then
he would come visit. You came visit like once a week.
We
did our
saw each
dates.
other. We spent 4 days together,
Oh,
and then we spent 2 weeks apart.
yeah.
And
You went to
then we got
LA.
together for about 4 days.
Yeah.
And then I went to LA for another 2 weeks.
Oh yeah, that was tough. We were in the midst of a passionate love, and we'd talk for hours on FaceTime.
Oh my
Remember that,
God,
baby?
every night we'd talk for like 4 to 6 hours.
One time I stayed up all night, and I had a promotional modeling gig. The next day I had a gig. I was like, I'm just gonna drink energy drink and stay up all night. And he was like, really? I said, yeah. And I stayed, I would go, my family live in Jacksonville, my cousin's out there. So I stayed at my cousin's place, on uncle's place.
Well, when I got back from LA after the second 2-week mission, she was in Jacksonville and I was supposed to come out and visit her. And I remember thinking, like, I feel like she would be the type of woman that would pray with me. Because, like, I don't claim to be the greatest Christian or anything, because I have a lot of denominational beliefs within me. Christ is a big part of that, but I think there's a lot of trails to the top of the mountain, and the view is probably all the same, depending on the way you walk that trail. But I do pray to God regularly. I meditate regularly. And so
I pray in Jesus' name.
I do say Jesus' name too, but I also do Buddhist meditations. And my grandmother was Native. She was born on a reservation, and I did years of Native ceremonies, and those are powerful too.
Yeah.
And I don't believe that.
Well, but what Jeremy did is he asked me to pray with him.
That's it. Yeah. I asked her to pray with me, and she's like, oh my God, I've been wanting, I can't believe you asked me. This is a sign from God. And
because make no mistake, God is the center of our relationship.